our brain cells?
Yes, we are now in alignment.
Yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Quarter Life Chapters. I'm Elena.
And I'm Annie, and we are so glad to have you here with us.
Yes. So Annie, how has your week been?
Ooh, my week has been really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I went to this little cafe,
Oh.
which two of my friends organized.
Oh.
So it was a little cafe night, and I got to have some matcha lattes, which was mwah, and some kaya, which was which the cafe owner prepared, which was
Yes.
beautiful, and some Earl Grey cake again. Cafe owner, beautiful. So I had overall a very nice week with the cafe. What about you, Elle?
Who's the cafe owner?
She's also my partner in crime for other things.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's a super talented woman.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, who is she?
Who is she? Oh my god.
Anyway,
It is, if you didn't get it, it is her. This is she.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop flirting with me. But yeah, I had a little home cafe. It was so cute. I got it as a gift for my birthday.
Yeah.
Someone gifted me a home cafe set. So me and this friend, we invited a few of our friends.
Yeah.
And then we had like a little home cafe. It was so
It was so
cute.
sweet.
But yeah, I really like hosting people, and I think this is like a very like 20-ish year old dream, but like I want to own a cafe someday.
Yeah.
Or like I feel
A
like
little
this
bakery?
is like a little bakery.
Yeah. I can imagine you like having a cafe or a bakery which is also a flower shop.
Ooh,
Yeah, I can
okay.
totally imagine you in
Yeah,
that
I
vibe.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like I want to have like a poll of like how many of our friends want to own a cafe, because everyone I talk to, they're like, yeah, that sounds really nice, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm just another basic girl.
There's nothing new. There's nothing individual about you.
I know.
Which is funny because I want to own a nightclub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
See, now that's not basic.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like the cafe sounds great, but like maybe like a cafe that also serves like cocktails and stuff. So, but like maybe not a club, but a bar. I would love to own a bar.
I can see you as a bartender.
Like a little bartender, and then everyone tells me what the gossip is, what the tea is, what's been happening. Like, and I'm just like, oh yeah, sure, tell me more.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
All right, so Elle, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about. What are we talking about?
We are talking about.
Oh, we're talking about being the best version of yourself.
Nice.
And it's like a never-ending job. I
Yeah,
feel.
I think you being the best version of yourself is a constant. Like it's a journey, it's not a destination. So what would you say, Elle, being the best version of yourself means to you?
Ooh. Annie always with the big questions.
The loaded ones. Tell me now.
I feel like being the best version is being happy with who you are and focusing on your goals and trying to achieve them.
Yeah, I think like being the best version of yourself definitely means sticking to like the goals that you set out for your own life and
also maintaining good habits and
like
building them.
What would you say are some of the good habits? Like waking up early, would you say that a good habit or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. I feel like if you can get stuff done, if you're a night out and if you can get stuff done at night, then good on you.
Good on you.
Yeah, like I know there's a lot of like people talking about the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah,
I feel like if you can do it, do it. But to me, it's like at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours, and it's just how you manage your time. Whether you wake up at 5 a.m. or you don't.
Yeah, that's actually such a good way of putting it, because it's like it doesn't matter if you're waking up at 5 a.m. Like even if you wake up at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. and you get your stuff done and you're like hitting the goals and checks, like would you say like that's good.
all that matters.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
What about you, Annie?
Ooh, I think one of the way that you can truly reach your best version or like your highest potential is like sort of finding your purpose. I have noticed that if you, because again this is more of a personal journey where I kind of felt very unsatisfied at job. So I was like, oh my god, what is my purpose? And that caused me a lot of anxiety. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? I'm not like doing anything that I like. So I feel like, and this doesn't mean that you have to have a purpose, but like if you're on the process of finding what really drives you, you know, like what is something that's making you passionate, what is something that's getting you up on the mornings and stuff, what is really getting you out there. If you find that drive and your passion, you are definitely on the way to becoming your best version, because then you have like something like a goal. Like, you know, as we talked about goal setting, like then this is a goal to aspire towards. And I think having something like that would be, I'd consider that to be like a good habit building situation. Yeah.
So when you talk about a purpose, is it like a life purpose or like a small daily purpose?
That's a good question.
Like a, you know, because you mentioned jobs and stuff, you know, because job could be like a purpose, but then like it's not a purpose to live.
Yeah, that's true. I think when I say purpose, I mean more of an idea of who you are.
Right.
Like, let's say you have an ideal version of yourself. Like, you can, I think everyone can imagine an ideal version of themselves, like who they would be if they were at the peak, like,
Yeah.
you know, peak version of themselves. And I think so long as you can visualize who that peak version of you is, and then do small steps to like get to that, I think that is what I would say when I say finding the purpose. Like, that's your
Right.
sort of purpose, is becoming that version of yourself, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And like allowing yourself to get there, because I know that it's really scary. Like, you know, a lot of people sort of struggle with this and like finding what their purpose is and finding that inner drive, but a lot of people also don't take risks, I feel like. And it is important to take risks if you want to be your highest self, because nothing is going to come easy. Like, you know, no risk, no reward. So you have to sort of take those, even if it feels scary. Like, you know, maybe talking in front of like a huge group of people can be a bit scary, right? But you can imagine that your highest version, like the person that you think is your highest version, is good at public speaking, right?
Yeah.
So that's a risk you take. You take the risk that, you know what, I'm going to start going to classes, or maybe I'm going to start volunteering in places where I have to do some public speaking. So that's a calculated risk, but the reward is really good, because then you do become confident. So I feel like that's one of the way how you could be your highest self, better version of yourself.
Yeah. It's also, for instance, like starting something, like starting a business.
Yeah.
I feel like one day, maybe
Yeah.
I do want to be a little business
Little business
owner.
girlies.
But it's also like the amount of money you're investing and all that. Like, even when you invest, it's also
a lot of
risk.
stuff. Yeah.
But it's so good for you.
I mean, it feels like anything that is good for you will come after that initial phase of uncomfortableness or like taking that risk. But I don't think there's a way you can achieve something you really want without that risk.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Exactly. No pain, no gain, guys.
Yeah. Like, coming back to like the inner drive and purpose, I feel like you don't have to have like a major life purpose.
Like you mean in terms of job? Or like in terms
Like,
of...
in terms of life.
Okay.
Because, like, okay, people always say, what is the purpose of life?
Yeah. The point is that there is no point.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. You just strive to be the best version of yourself.
yourself. And I feel like that can be the purpose. Like, I feel like we put a lot of pressure on the idea of having a purpose. Like, it needs to be something grand and huge.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, your purpose can be, today you went out and took a nice long walk, maybe smiled at some strangers, and that is a good, like, that can be your purpose for the
Like,
day.
the kindness.
Yeah, the kindness can be your purpose. Like, it doesn't have to be some out of the world, like I have to build a 1 million business and only then am I achieving my purpose. No, your purpose can just be, I want to be somebody who practices gratitude. And that can be your purpose. Like, you know, that is the kind of person I am. That I just want to be grateful, you know?
To me, it really doesn't have to be like a, you know, you don't have to go through a whole existential crisis to be like, what's my purpose? Like, just hee hee ha ha your life.
Yeah, just honestly, I think we talked about it in the last episode as well. Like, life is fun when you want it to be fun, you know?
Yeah.
If you're like hoping that my purpose is something that makes me happy, it's fun, it will be that, you know? Yeah.
I feel like as you grow older, you will have a lot of like experiences that you
shouldn't have.
that you shouldn't have. But I feel like it's okay to be cringe, because that's how you grow.
Bro, funny story.
Yeah.
that's like, this is not planned. This is just a funny story that came to my head. So recently I was at work and we had this whole event where like every employee comes to the office because we have like a big end of the financial year presentation. And so the CEO was there, right? And then he came and started talking to me. I have been editing videos for the job.
Right.
And I was editing his videos. And obviously hearing him talk, I feel like I know this man because I have been editing his videos. So he just walks by and I'm like, hi. And then he's like, hey. And then I'm like, I haven't met you, but I feel like I know you. Not just because you're the CEO of the company, but like I've been editing all your videos and like it makes you feel like I know you. And then he's like, yeah, it's funny how like, you know, when you look at somebody on a box and like, for example, there's a parasocial relationship or whatever, right? So, and then he said something like that. And then I don't know why, I just kind of froze, right? And I was just like, I don't know what I said. I said something stupid, and like just like my brain has like erased that memory. And then he went and like we just like bye bye, and then he left. And then I was like, cringe! Why do I do this? Yeah, so that ties into the cringe stuff that you were talking about, like, you know, regrets and cringes.
Yeah, I feel like you will always look back and cringe at yourself.
Yeah, that is so.
Like, and you just gotta accept that.
That it is what it is.
I used to make a lot of skits.
Oh, okay. Like YouTube skits?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It is so cringe thinking about it. I'm so glad I accidentally deleted all those
Was it
videos.
accidental?
It was honestly very accidental, and I cried because I was so upset that I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm glad I don't have that like footage.
But I feel like in a way, if you look at it now, you're probably just gonna enjoy it, like laugh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I think one of the thing about being a better version of yourself is just accepting yourself. Like
you're just gonna,
you just accept
Yeah.
the
And I
cringe
feel
parts is me and everything.
yeah, exactly. And also looking back and then learning from whatever mistakes that you've done or like the cringy stuff
Yeah.
that you've done. I feel like it's okay to let go of the regrets that you have
Yeah.
and not hold grudges.
That's so
because
true.
I think that's kind of holding you back a little bit.
I think having regrets, it sort of poisons you from the inside.
Yeah.
Because having regrets basically means that you are ashamed of things that you have done, right? And I think it's sort of like cultivates a sense of self-hatred inside of you.
Yeah.
And remember you were mentioning this one time that you were writing a whole 4-page journal about something.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my next point.
Yeah.
There was this time, I think like 4 or 5 years ago, I was discovering journaling because I've never really have an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
You
To talk
know.
about things, yeah.
Actually, no, I do. I used to just write down my frustrations and anger, but only when I'm frustrated and
Yeah,
angry.
yeah.
But then my friend introduced journaling to me, and it's more like a positive note, not like the
Not like
I hate this shit.
the rant, the
Yeah,
angry rant.
not the angry rant
Yeah.
kind of journaling, but like a practicing gratitude and setting goals kind of journaling. And then you have Instagram accounts where they have everyday prompts. So
Oh,
every day
okay.
you are asked this question and you write about it.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend sent me the account and was like, just give it a try. It's like a really nice brain dump
Yeah.
for your brain and like get to know yourself a bit better. The first activity
Mm-hmm.
for the journaling prompt
Yeah.
is write down everything you know about yourself.
Ooh, oh wow, that would be like
Yeah.
a deep dig
Yeah.
into your psyche.
So it's literally titled Who Am I? So you ask yourself
Batman.
who am I?
Who are you?
And I just wrote like, okay, my name's Elena, I'm blah blah blah, and I'm studying this.
Just anything that you could think about yourself, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Like, about like my appearance and like what I think about myself and all that.
Mm.
And then when I read the whole thing, when I was
Yeah.
done with the whole thing, I was like, dang, I hate myself
Dang.
so much. There's nothing but hate. I freaking like hated myself back then.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's.
hated everything that I do, everything that I do I'm not proud of and all that. And I was like, holy crap, I gotta change.
Yeah. Because I think you're just like marinating in all that sort of self-hatred, and you
Yeah.
don't want to be because you won't enjoy life. You forget about being the best version of yourself. You're just like always stuck in that like a pit. Like, pit of self-hatred, and like climbing
Yeah.
out of that is gonna be
Yeah.
like, if you don't take that step to want to climb out of it, like it's not gonna happen. So I'm sure like writing it all made you feel like, oh no,
yeah.
things need to change.
Yeah. And it's like clear to
Yeah.
me. I made it a mission for myself. My purpose then
Yeah, okay.
was to love myself more.
Yeah.
Like how to spend time with myself, how to pick up hobbies that I like,
Mhm.
setting time to do stuff that I like.
Yeah, and I feel like I would want to like take off from that point. It's like, even when your life gets really busy, like even if you have like a million things to do, still finding time to do the things that make you, like your hobbies, or it can be just things that you enjoy. Like even if you have a busy schedule, I know it gets really difficult, but if you still find like an hour to do something that makes you happy and brings you joy, it just helps you connect more with yourself, and then connect to your
Yeah.
higher version and your better self. Because what is the best version of you doing? Your best version of you is doing the things that you love to do, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And that includes taking time for yourself and finding things that you love to do and doing them.
But yeah, if you have listened to episode 1 and 2,
We are big on self-love.
yeah, you know what, we're on self-love now, and
Yeah.
we've grown
Yeah,
from that.
that for sure. Because I would also say there was a point of self-hatred for me as well.
Yeah,
It was like,
right?
oh my god, you can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then eventually you grow out of it, and then you're like, yeah, now I would say we are at least trying to self-love, and getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think we were pretty happy with
Yeah.
where we are right
Yeah,
now.
I would say
Honestly, I'm
so.
so grateful for where I
I
am
know.
right now.
And I think that is a very big point as well, being grateful. Like
Yeah.
being grateful for where you're at in life. And because I think what happens is we just really get stuck in our own head about our own life, and then that just keeps like ruminating in our own head, and like we don't think about anything else. But then when you step out of your rumination and you see that the world outside is not all good all the time, and we
Yeah.
are very blessed in so many ways
We
to
are, yeah.
like, you know, like have the life that we have and be able to do the things that we do. And I think the more we understand that, the more we like realize that, oh no, you know what, life has been good to us, life has been kind to us.
Yeah.
It really helps practice like more of that gratitude. And I read this very nice quote somewhere, which is like, we cannot shame ourselves to change, we can only love ourselves to evolution.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so
I
you
love
can't
that, yeah.
you can't shame yourself into changing. You can only love yourself so much that you evolve.
I love that
I
so
know.
much. Yeah.
I think I saw it a year back, and like it's still somewhere on my phone, because it's like
Yeah.
that's what you need to remember. Like
Yeah.
self-hatred is not gonna go anywhere. If you want to evolve, you want to be the best version of yourself, you can only evolve through self-love. Like that's the only way.
Yeah.
Like you cannot get to the top level by hating yourself or
Yeah.
hating surroundings.
Yeah.
yeah.
Count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
I read this book. I swear, every 1 to 2 episodes, you get a book
Book
recommendation.
rep, which is good. Like, you know, join Elle's little book club.
Yes, I would love a book club.
Business idea.
Business idea. Come for coffee and cookies.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Coffee and cookies with Elle. Ooh.
That'd be cute.
Maybe something like coffee, cookies, and comprehension.
Cookies and comprehension.
Because she's
with Elle.
yeah, exactly. Elle is like wearing glasses and acting like an English teacher. So today we are reading this book.
Yeah, book clubs. I heard book clubs are so fun though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because
Yeah,
you're just like
yeah.
reading a book and talking about
Maybe
it.
maybe 2024 I should join a book club.
Yeah, maybe we could also, if we have some common books that we have read, maybe we could like talk about it sometime as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, this
Yeah.
book is called The Girl Who Fell From. It's called... There's this book called The Girl Who Fell From the Sky by Emma Carey. She is Australian. She's from Canberra.
Okay.
hmm So this book talks about her going on a skydiving trip. Well, going on a Europe trip, and she went to Switzerland for a skydive.
Yeah. Ooh.
And
Sounds like fun.
but then
Yeah.
the parachute didn't open.
Oh my god, I cannot even imagine the fear.
Fell
Yeah.
from the sky, from the plane to the ground, and she survived.
Bruh, like the gods were really on her side, you know, that day.
Please read this book. It changes your whole perspective. It's like how to be grateful from your day-to-day life, because there are so many unfortunate people out there, and for you to have running tap water
Yeah,
is a
exactly.
privilege.
Not just that, like the fact that you have your limbs, your hands,
Yeah.
you've got a body that is like functioning and like
Yeah.
looks after you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
such a privilege, and we really take things for granted. Like you know,
do.
we don't realize that we really do have a lot of things. Like if you look for abundance in your life, you will find abundance,
yeah,
and you
absolutely.
have abundance, right? You know.
Yeah. She had to learn how to walk again and adapting to this new body where she took for granted for years. She's got this quote in the book
Yeah.
that says, "If you can, you must."
Yeah,
So the day
yeah.
before she went skydiving, she wanted to go out for a run.
Yeah.
Because Switzerland's really pretty, so she
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
go for a run. But then she was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me sleep in a little bit."
Mm.
So she didn't. And the next day, the incident happened, and she could not run anymore because
Wait,
she had to learn how to walk again.
Is she paralyzed at the moment, or can she?
She can walk. She's recovered.
Oh, that is so
Yeah,
good. I cannot
yeah.
believe that she fell from the sky, like
I
the
know.
ground. and-
How does one survive
Yeah.
that?
How did she survive that? Oh
Yeah,
my god, that's crazy.
So she was like, she could have went for a run, but now in her hospital bed, she can't run anymore, and it makes her
Yeah.
really sad. So if you can, you must.
You must. And I think that's like such a good optimistic way of looking at things as well, right? I think we really limit ourselves in a lot of ways when we sort of negatively talk about like our goals and dreams. But it's like, let's talk about manifestation, right? Let's say you're manifesting the most authentic, highest version of yourself. You cannot get to that if you don't like realistically believe it, and that's what manifestation is, sort of like, you know, you're just sort of delulu, but not like like you sort of manifested by like, no, this is what my life is going to be like, this is what my life is, and you just like believe that about yourself, and that way you can actually build that life.
Yeah.
You know, and then having that positive mindset, because again, this girl, like, she fell from the sky, right? She hit the ground, and now she can walk again. Like, I don't think that could have been possible if her mindset wasn't towards positive thinking,
yes,
optimism.
she was so optimist.
Yeah, like even after
She
something
was
like
also optimist. She was so positive.
no, but like if imagine if she fell and then she kind of got into that mentality that, oh my god, now my life is done because
Yeah.
I cannot use my like limbs anymore. I can't. If she had like sort of stayed in that mindset, then that would have been her life, and you know, she would have never written the book or something. But
Yes.
she was like, no, that's not gonna be my story. My story is that of optimism. It's about positive thinking. It's about
Yes.
manifestation.
Mhm.
And then she was able to manifest walking again. She was able to manifest this whole life after like such a huge incident, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to have that positive thinking where you're like thinking about things that you want to happen instead of thinking about things which are negative and you don't want to happen. Because I think energy flows where you put your attention.
Yeah.
So if you put your attention towards positive thinking and optimism, then that's how your life is gonna be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's so important to count your blessings. And I think another thing is to like not taking things personally. A lot of times things will happen that won't go your way and people around you will behave in ways that you don't like. But 90% of the time, no, even 99% of the time, and I think I've said this before in maybe one of the episodes, it's not that deep.
It's not.
And it's not about you. Like, you know, just think about how many times you think about somebody else. You're not spending all your time thinking about somebody else. So if somebody else says something, just don't take it personally. Like, you know, it's their experience. They're coming from like their life that they have lived. And you don't have to agree to that. If somebody says something wrong about you or something bad about you, that's not your truth. Your truth is what you think about yourself.
Yes.
You know, so I would add that. Your story is told by you, not by other people.
But yeah, adding on to that, people will make assumptions about you, and 99% of the time, it's not true.
It's not true.
Just like how when you make assumptions about other people, 99% of the time, it's not true.
Yeah, and that leads me to the point of perspective. Like, you know,
Yeah.
having your own point of view
Yeah.
and trying to understand people from their point of view. Just how you said, like, you know, 90% of the time you're making assumptions about other people which are not true,
Yeah.
and they're making assumptions about you which is not true. But what you can do in this situation is put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Like, if you were in their place, would you be still thinking the way? I think a good way to do this is like, if you're worried about how much, like, you know, like let's say you did something cringy.
Yeah.
You know, you did something stupid and embarrassing, and in your head you're like, oh my god, I'm just stressed out about it. Think about the other person who you were spending time with, and think about if you actually remember anything about them. You know, because you're so worried thinking about yourself, you remember nothing about them. And it's the same
Yeah.
from them as well. They are so busy thinking about themselves that they don't remember anything about you. The moment you put yourself in someone else's shoes and you really try to think, oh, is this person really thinking about me or are they thinking about themselves? You will realize that a lot of the times we are just thinking about ourselves all the time. So nobody else is really thinking about you as much. And that's just ask yourself how many times you've thought about other people. Like, you know, and you will realize not really.
Yeah.
Unless if you're like thinking about them in a good way, you are not like, oh my god, he said that joke. That joke was so bad. I cannot believe I'm never talking to this person again.
But if people are actually thinking about you 24/7, they're probably delulu.
Yeah.
Like, do not
Engage.
engage. Do not like get hung up on it because they are probably just making fake assumptions about you. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like I think this is a very important thing. Like, your story is being told by your narrative. You are the
Yeah.
narrator.
Yeah.
So you narrate your story. That is the way it has to go.
As
Like,
long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself.
or yourself, like that's chill. You know, I think being human is such a stressful job. It really is, because we are blessed and also cursed with knowledge.
Yeah.
We know too much, but we just don't know enough, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like a nice sweet spot between not knowing anything and knowing everything, where humans fall. And so I feel like it makes our life and existence very confusing and very like dependent on other people, like and we are social creatures. We are always thinking about what other person is thinking.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, trust me, we are all thinking the same thing,
Yeah.
which is about ourselves.
Yeah.
And what are we doing, you know? And I think when you come out to people that way, like, you're not thinking about them, you're not thinking about yourself, you're just existing. That's like the good place to be. That's where you build communities. That's where you understand each other, and you're like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna better myself and I'm gonna take you with me as I better myself.
Yeah.
Because we are not like being harsh on ourselves. We're just chilling, we're just vibing.
Which is vibing.
We're just vibing.
You know what's really funny though? Yesterday I was talking to my friend about the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Victorian era is when people are like figuring out how to be humans. It's like a trial and error.
You know?
know?
Makes sense.
Because like people use arsenic lotion to brighten their skin.
Yeah,
like, they
that's
literally use
true.
that and bleach to brighten their skins. Like that's their skincare routine.
Yeah.
know?
It's not caring at all.
Yeah, and the fact that they just like poop on the streets.
I find it really hilarious that we think that we should know everything. We are not even, like, we've only been alive for, I don't know, not too long. Like, in the terms of
Yeah.
universe, like the billions of years old,
Mhm.
we are like tiny speck of nothing. Like, you know?
Yes.
And yet we are like burdened with the concept of humanity,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're like existentialism. It's like, no bro, no.
Yeah.
You are just floating on a rock.
You are. I know hate hate is a strong word,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say don't hate/dislike yourself just because you're not where you want to be, because it takes time, it takes baby steps to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's okay that you're taking a bit of time.
And I feel like the fact that you're tuning into this episode, let's say, because we are talking about obviously being your better self, right? The fact that you're tuning into this episode is a baby step in itself. It shows that you have the drive to want to be a better person. Like, you know, you have the drive to, maybe your life is not going the way you want it to. Maybe you're struggling with where you're at. And you decided that, you know what, I'm going to tune into this and I'm going to see what I can do.
Yeah.
So that step that you have taken, that's an enormous step in itself.
Yeah.
So many people, and I think we talked about this in our previous episode, so many people do not self-reflect. They never get to the point where they feel like things need to be improved. They feel like that they're fine the way they are, right? So the fact that you even have taken that step that, you know what, no, I am not at the best place. I can go so much more higher. That's such a big step in itself.
Yeah.
And you know, there are so many things. There are so many little things that you can do. It doesn't have to be like an overnight successful story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely
Not at
not.
all. Like, you know, something as simple as maybe every day when you wake up and you take a shower and you do a little makeup, you do a little dress up, you know, you dress a little cute. And that doesn't take too much. That doesn't take a lot of effort at all. But you just get out and you decide that today I'm going to put on a cute dress. Even if I'm not going out, I'm going to put on a cute dress, I'm going to look really nice, and I'm going to feel really good. And that's one step closer, you know? Like, it can be something so simple like that.
Another thing that you can do is you can ask your friends, like, is there something that I can do to improve?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that is scary, because, you know,
It is scary,
because you're asking somebody else to judge you, basically, and tell you, like, you know, what can I do better?
Yeah.
And I think if you ask this to a good friend, they're probably going to say things to you in such a nice way that it won't even feel hurtful, like, you know. And for the most part, I think they will not even say that anything is wrong. Like, they'll probably just be like, no, you're perfect, like, I actually love you the way you are, and then give you some genuine answers, like
if they do give you feedback, don't get butthurt, you know, because you want to improve, and you know, hearing that, you're like, oh, okay, and then you do a little bit of self-reflection, and you're like, oh, okay, I actually can improve on that part.
And I also feel like a lot of the time when somebody else says something to you about you, it's like their version of how they see you. It doesn't have to be like that, this is how you are. Maybe that's how you come off. And even if you don't know that that's how you come off, that's how, like, a trusted friend is just telling that, hey, that's how you come off, that's it. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if you ask a friend and they say it to you in a nice way, then that at least starts your journey of self-reflection at some point, right? From where you can then reassess, or where who am I, where I'm going, what I want, and stuff like that. So like doing those little things, not thinking it has to be like again, with the purpose and the inner drive, it doesn't have to be an overnight thing. It can take time. You can build on it slowly, because Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, so you have to understand that we have progressed as human beings over so many years. Like, you know, nothing happened overnight. Like, literally nothing happened overnight. And if you're really committed to becoming a better version of yourself, you will find the breadcrumbs. You'll find the breadcrumbs, but you have to start, like, you know, you have to start following the breadcrumbs first. So working on your self-esteem and working on your self-worth is very important in that case, because a lot of the thing that we talk about in this episode, and a lot of things that we have to go through our life as well, and I think, again, we think that everyone probably will go through this, is like, it's a lot of inner work that comes into play. And like, it's like you have lived your life almost on autopilot for a long time, like, you know, for, I would say, much of school and a lot of uni as well.
People just tell you
what to do, and then you just do it. You know, you're just on autopilot, and then this is the age when you first and properly become an individual. And then you realize that, oh, a lot of things that maybe you've heard is just general news. It doesn't specifically apply to any one of you. So in that situation, like, finding who you are can be a bit complicated. And so, like I said, like, you know, you dress up for yourself, you do little things every week. With that, you also have to do the inner work of believing that, no, I am that best person. Like, you know, you dress to impress, not just externally, but you believe that. You, like, when you show up somewhere looking very nice, you believe that you deserve to be here. Like, you know, you deserve a seat at this table.
Like, you feel more confident as well when you dress nice. So I feel like confidence is a really big part of life.
Oh, absolutely. And the funniest thing about confidence is, nobody's born with it. Nobody's born with it. Confidence is literally fake it till you make it. That's it. As
I feel like
Taylor Swift said.
I feel like, especially when you are presenting yourself in the working environment, think of it this way: when some business guy comes and pitch you an idea, you would naturally want to believe this person
If they believe themselves.
if they believe in themselves or if they sound really confident in what they're saying.
That's true.
So like, I could be talking about bullshit and I'm confident.
Yeah, you can
I
sell
eat
that
that shit
bullshit.
up.
Yeah,
I eat it
absolutely. I'll absolutely, bro. I feel like just being confident can open up so many doors for you. You can be confident about anything. Maybe like be confident about butter and bread, and you will sell that shit. I'm telling you.
You can sell it,
You can
yeah.
sell it if you're just confident about it.
If you have a really good product, but if your public speaking skills are like 1 out of 10, and you're like, I guess this is pretty good. I don't know. Then I'd probably be like, it's a good product, but I don't know if you believe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like at the end of the day, it's not how good of a job you can do, how good of a whatever you can do. It's about how much you back yourself. Like you gotta back yourself. You need to be your own biggest cheerleader.
Yes, but I feel like there is also a limit. Don't be overconfident.
Ooh, don't be like arrogant.
Yeah.
Because that's real. You can get to a point, but I'll also say arrogance in reality comes from insecurity. I think because real confidence will lift other people up because you know what it took to get there.
You know what?
Yeah. Being genuinely confident means that you have been through that internal struggle of hating yourself, regretting things, struggling, and then realizing, no, I'm gonna choose to be different. But whereas arrogance comes from the fact that I cannot let them see that I'm actually insecure, so I'm just gonna puff myself up.
And like get the validation from other people.
And then it can really get to your head, like, you know, and then you can start believing that, oh, I am the shit, you know, because of the arrogance. But a lot of the time it's coming because you're kind of being a bully, like, you know, the arrogance is coming from a sense of like overpowering somebody else, and it's not like internal. And so when the external validation is taken away, you will crumble.
Signing up for the gym is one of the best decisions I've ever made. Honestly, the first few months I was struggling to go because it's like the laziness kicks in and you're like, oh, I don't want to go. But now it's like a routine now. Like after work,
you will
get
go.
ready and go. That's what I do more.
So much of it is just showing up.
Yeah.
Just showing up. Like I used to go to gym, I don't, but I do walking now, and after work I like drag myself. I'm like, you don't even have to walk as much, or you don't even have to run if you don't want to, but just get out of the house. Like, you know, just take at least a 10-minute walk, and that's enough. And after the 10 minutes I kind of want to walk more. So I usually walk for like 50 minutes because it's just so exhilarating. But you need to do that first step of like dressing cute and getting out there.
Yeah, like you gotta think long term. Like long term, you wanna be an old person with a healthy body.
Unfortunately, our bodies do not stay as young as our minds do. I feel like as you grow older, our minds can stay young, but our body does give in to like the natural wear and tear of life. And you gotta look after this gift, you know. I'd also say be open-minded and be curious about life, you know. Like let's say you work at a job and you found out something new, you know, and it's not related to what you're currently doing, but still try to learn about it, you know, because then you will be curious about other things, and then eventually you just become a person who like knows random things about random stuff.
Dude,
and
I
it's just
so
fun.
I have so many random facts stored in my brain right now.
Exactly.
Dude, did you know that whales and dolphins, they drown?
What? Oh my god, really?
Because they're mammals, they've got lungs.
Oh, true, they have to come up for oxygen. Yeah, that's true.
Petition to give them legs, for real. Like, why do they have lungs and live in the water?
Yeah, I know.
And they drown.
It's like if we as human beings were not living in cities and we went to forest with like tigers and lions. You're like,
and not even that, it's like humans who like live in the ocean.
You know what?
Why you do that? Why you do that?
Why you do that?
Like, speaking of being open-minded, I feel like as people, we only consume what we want to consume.
Yeah, that's true.
So when we see something that we don't agree with, we'll just be like, nah, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
we'll move on.
Yeah. I think being intentional about the stuff that you consume.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if you know that you're watching something and it's bringing you down, don't watch it. Like, why are you putting yourself in that like sort of negative environment?
Unless
like,
you're reading the news. I know the news is depressing, but it's good to know what's happening. Sometimes when you like read about someone's opinion, like it's okay to like read about a different POV. And then figuring out where you stand, you know, but it's always so important to like hear both sides.
I think that POV stuff is a very important thing.
That's how people, I feel like that's also how people get stuck in their own mindset because they just read what they want to read. You know?
They don't have any like limitations or filter to themselves. And like it's true, like if you consume only negative content, there is a very high chance that your mindset will be negative. Like, you know, you really are a combination of people you surround yourself with, food you consume, content you consume, stuff like that. A lot of negative thoughts are literally man-made. Like it's your own brain is making those thoughts, and you have the power to change that. You actually have, you might think that you're stuck in your ways and you cannot consume anything different. You have to say this because this is who you are, but you are just closing your own self that way. If you think that this is who you are and this is who you're always gonna be, you are limiting your own self. Like having those type of limiting beliefs will never open up your mind. So even if you have like a certain way of thinking, like maybe give a different perspective a go. Like, what if this was like that, or this was like this, or what if I thought about something differently? And that is really going to open up your mind fully.
When you said consuming negative content, the word negative is also kind of objective, depending on
what
different
people
person,
think.
different people. Because I know a few people who think therapy is negative.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, right, yeah, actually. That's
so
true.
To them, they won't read content about therapy because therapy is quote unquote negative. So just
opening your mind,
opening your mind, like even if it's like quote unquote negative to you, read about it and see what you think.
Get to know. I feel like don't just believe anything that you hear. Do your
research.
Try to form your own opinions. Try to form your own mindset. And you don't have to have a opinion that aligns with everyone. Like every one of us are very individual people at the end of the day. That just makes you you. All right, do you think we covered a lot of things about how you can become the best version of yourself? Or
I think we've covered enough.
Yeah, we've covered enough. I think for today these are some of like key points that you can keep in mind. You've just gained consciousness, you've just graduated university, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I guess that's what the whole podcast is about. It's just trying to reach your full potential as a 20-year-old, but also not really reaching your full potential because you can't ever reach your full potential. It's an ongoing thing.
It's a journey.
I feel like our episodes are like Venn diagrams of each other.
Yeah,
we like
that's so
talk
true.
about like the previous episodes, and then the next episode is going to talk about this episode and the episode before.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily bad, but I feel like it's very much so what we experienced, and I think that's the thing. Life is so interconnected.
Yeah.
Like, life is always going to be interconnected, and you will never have like one topic separate completely by itself. Everything is somehow, it's all connected.
Bro, it's so hard to plan because like, we're like writing our episodes and we're like, oh, we talked about it before.
We would love some feedback as well, right? Like we have done a few episodes and we really want to know what you think of it. Would you want us to change up some things here and there? Did you want to see more funny content? Are you happy with the content we are doing? Because at the end of the day, yes, we are doing this for ourselves, but we also do want to build a community around this. So it would be really nice to actually get what you think about it and what parts of our episodes are resonating with you. But yeah, so glad to have you here with us. See you in the next episode and have a great time. Bye!